Hello everybody, and welcome to our species creation for Stellaris. Yes, I am probably going to be doing a Stellaris Let's Play starting very soon, and what I want your help on, though, is to help me decide who to be. Now, there's a lot of options here, but we are not going to be any of them. What we are going to do instead is we are going to retroactively introduce canon to our 3 Let's Play series of 2025. That's right. Did you know that this entire time we were not watching humans? We were watching various alien races. They were only appearing human to us by translation convention. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an alien race that corresponds to all 3 of the Civs that we played and we won as. Meaning, we're going to have a Macedon, we're going to have a Canada, and we're going to have a Russia. I am going to make those, and it is up to you to pick which of the 3 you would like to see me play as. So, that is what we are going to do. Let's jump into the creation now. So what we're going to do first is create Russia. So let's go to create new, and we can begin our stuff. Now, what type of alien or humanoid or whatever do you think most fits the Russians? Remember, these are going to be pious Russians. They are not necessarily... these are the evolution of my Civ VI Russians. So, who are they exactly? What do you think? Can you see these guys being kind of religious insectoid? I think so. We'll go for that. All right. So, let's see what we have here. Is there anything that is prosperous unification is always the go-to, but there's also plenty of other there are plenty of other choices for beginners, or for origins, I should say. Alright, so after looking at things for a while, I have decided that we are going to stick with prosperous unification. Now, if we know anything about our Russians, is that they were fanatic spiritualists. After all, they did win through a religion, so they're going to be a theocracy of some sort. And also, remember, in that game, we did not fight anyone, did we? So, they could be pacifist. I'm trying to see if anything else... yeah, I think pacifist is going to be the choice. Yeah. And let's see. We are going to say they're probably oligarchic. We'll go with that. And now we look into civics. Now remember, we are looking at our religious Russians. Alright, we are going to go with traditional and resilient. I think that matches our Russians pretty well. And this is a what? I think it was an arthropod, so we'll pick... Of course, none of these are going to sound very Russian. But this looks mildly, mildly not at all Russian, but... it's more interesting. So, we're going to say they can have a random gender. We're going to say Russians. There we go. Where's... biography, we're going to say a fanatical religious civilization. They united their world under one church before they took to the stars. So we are going to call this let's see, Russian Holy State. Sure, we're going to go with that. All right. Now, to keep with the theme of where we started with, let's see. A cold... I think the Alpine world is actually very fitting, because if you remember in our thing, we weren't quite at an ice world. We were... It was mountainous, it was chilly, so I think this is going to be the choice here. So, we are going to... the homeworld name will be St. Petersburg, named after the capital. And the star name would be... let's see. We'll just call it Mother Russia, but spelled funky. Alright, so let's go with... Yeah, Anthropod City to fit the room they are in. I feel it would be very, like, angular and could be fancy. I mean, they are spiritualist after all, so. Now, didn't we use the crabs as a symbol? I wonder if there's anything that has a motif that looks a little bit crabby. Like, these could be like claws or something. I think that's a thing that could be. Or they could be claws, too. I kind of like this. Alright, we'll go with that.
Faith manages.
Alright, spiritualist. Go with that. And now we choose our colors. Now remember, it was black and yellow was the Russians of our world. So, let's see. Do we have one that's like spiritual? Let's look at ornate. We definitely need a good symbol too. So, is there anything that looks kind of crabby? I mean, that's very vaguely like a crab mouth or something, but... And now I just gotta find something that fits in with it. Let's see. We'll go with that. No need to think too hard about it. Anthropoid ships. We'll see what they look like. Looks pretty good, right? So we are going to hit the button Zukir Kakabaka. Yes. Everything that you saw in our Let's Play was a translation convention. And they really look like this and have names like that. Let's see. I kind of like the black version. Let's see. Can we get... I kind of like that. It looks more like a robe. We're going to go with that. Say... Chief Precentor. Sure, why not? And... Leader class. You can pick... So, yeah, official, that's fine. We'll pick what they have. Principled might be a thing. Oh, I can't use feedback loop, I see. I think a charismatic religious leader would be a pretty good thing to have. So we're going to go with that. Alright. So, there we have it. We are going to save them. Oops. On ethics points. Government civics. Oh, we didn't pick this. I am silly. Let's think. Alright, so I think the selection is to go with an exalted priesthood and an aristocratic elite. Because that definitely seems like the kind of civilization that we are creating here. So, I think that's going to... Yep, we have done that. Alright, now that we have created the Russians, let's go about creating the Canadians. So, remember, these Canadians were expansionist. They loved to sail across the world and set up colonies, and they also like to win by culture. So, that's the kind of thing that we have. So, what do we have here that can possibly be stand in for a Canadian? What were these guys all along? I'm looking at all these mammalian folks. I'm wondering if we can find something that looks like a moose, or maybe like a wolverine or something. It's kind of tricky, but... Let's see. Any moose boys here? Alright, well that's not remotely moose-like, but we'll go with that. Sure, why not? Once again, I think prosperous unification is another good thing. So we're gonna go with that. As far as ethics, we were not militarist in that game. We were pretty egalitarian, weren't we? At least I'd like to think so. So we can do that. And I think we're going to do materialist, because certainly we expanded, made a lot of colonies. It seemed like there was a definite materialist balance in that thing. So we could do pacifist. We didn't go to war, I don't think. So, yeah. Alright, we'll go with that. And we shall go with democratic. Very good. So this is going to be our sort of our chill thing, and then we got to pick some civics. Alright, I think we're going to go with merchant guilds and eager explorers to sort of reflect the fact that we were very materialist, making money in that game, and also we were exploring the New World well ahead of everybody else. So we'll go with that. And now we look at traits. Alright, so we're going to go with a bit of a mildly extreme strategy when it comes to their traits. They're extremely adaptive, and I chose that because our Canadians pretty much settled anywhere they could. They largely were in the tundra, but I had a lot of temperate cities in that game, even tropical cities. But because we have such a strong... We can only have a balance of positive 2. So if we go positive 4, we have to subtract something from it. So I decided to make these Canadians unruly. I mean, just think of hockey fights, but like that is what they're like. And, you know, maybe that motivated them to cross the ocean and explore and settle everywhere because they were too stressed out being with each other, so they needed more space. So we're going to go with that strategy. Okay, next we'll go with, let's see, mammalian. Let's see. Sure, sounds pretty Canadian to me. So we're going to do Canadian There we go. Canadian. I like that. Canadians. Whoops. Canai. I like that. Canai. For their adjective. The Canadians took over their world through relentless expansion and cultural assimilation. Sure, why not? Let's see. Canai administration. Canai Commonwealth. I kind of like that because that, it's an Easter egg because Canada, of course, is in the Commonwealth. And I kind of like this disguises their origin. Like, you wouldn't see this and think Canadian right away, but once you look at this, Canadian. Okay, so let's go forward. Of course, we will be picking an Arctic world, or a Tundra world. Yeah, Tundra world because we started in the Tundra. And their homeworld name would be, let's see. Well, what is Ottawa backwards? Awato. I like that. And the star name would be, what's Ontario backwards? Oiratno. Sure. Random solar system. Let's do a binary to reflect the French and English origins of Canada. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so next up we go to city and room. And remember, these are very cultured people, so they need something elegant. Look at that. Elegant and ornate. I kind of like that. We'll go with that. In the city, we're going to be going with the Mammalian City, which we already have. So, looking pretty good.
Democracy sure is an endless struggle.
Very good. Alright. So, we need something that looks like a leaf, right? It has to be leaf-like in some way. Now, these are like very ornate, crazy leaves, but it's like, this is kind of the shape of a maple leaf, sort of, if you're crazy, I guess. So what we're going to do now is we are going to pick the Canadian colors, obviously, and we are going to see if we can't find something that is at least somewhat reminiscent of the tricolor design of the flag. We might not be able to find it exactly, but like, we're also not Austria, so we want to be a little bit careful. Maybe this. It kind of narrows the bands, but it's still recognizable as its origin. Or this is like the tricolor, but it's parting to open. Interesting symbology here. Alright, we'll go with the parting to open one. So, next we go forward into the ships and Mammalian. Sure. No problem with that. Okay. And now we need a ruler name. The thing is, we could do, like, Wilfrid Laurier or something like that. But no, we're just going to do, Le Fils de Femme. It sounds French if you have brain damage. So, what we're going to do is, we'll go with that. He needs to look pretty ornate. So yeah, we'll go with that. I like that. They'll make a sound at you like that. Okay, we need the. What will the leader have? I think we'll do I for talent, because I feel like that's kind of the equivalent of recruiting great people in this game is recruiting leaders. So I would imagine that he would have a good eye for talent. So there we go. There are our Canadians. Save those. And now finally we are going to create the dastardly Macedons. So what we're going to go for there, I think we have to do a very threatening looking reptile person. These guys all look friendly. Maybe not this guy. He looks a little scary. Actually, this guy looks kind of scary too. So we definitely have to go for somebody with the scare factor. So yeah, we'll go with him. And of course we have to do under one rule, because the civilization was unified by a single leader. So that's definitely something we should be doing. Now, I think the most defining characteristic of that Let's Play was that we declared war instantly on whoever we saw and did not stop until we murdered everyone. So I think it's safe to say that these people, more than anything else, are fanatic xenophobes. That's their defining characteristic. They are militant, but I think their xenophobia is by far their most dominant characteristic. Alright, so this was actually a very easy decision. We have distinguished admiralty because obviously the military is going to have an outsized role in this society. And the big one, fanatic purifiers. They are scouring the galaxy of any sapient light, and that is 100% what our Macedons were. They have to destroy everyone. So yeah, that is something that we are going to have. And dictatorial, of course, or we could do imperial. I feel like, well, Alexander was a imperial. He was a prince or a king, so we are going to go with the empire there, I think. And oh look, perfected genes. Ooh, hardcore. But anyway, we gotta pick our picks. Okay, we're just gonna go for simply industrious, because I see that I remember being pretty obsessed with production in that game to try to make the military units I needed. So we'll go with that. It's just very simple. We have reptiles, so go with some reptile names. We need something that sounds violent. I think these are the most violent sounding names, so sure, we're gonna go with that. The names, the Macedons. Yeah, remember that? Macedons. Macedonic. Sure, whatever. The Macedons took over their world through violent conflict and conquest, subjugating everyone. They spread into the stars in paranoia and subjugation. Now, the only thing is, like, the original, in our Let's Play, they didn't seek to wipe out all life. They sought to, they thought to, basically enslave everyone. So maybe I should change this. Alright, we are going to change the Fanatic Purifiers to Warrior Culture, because I think that's a pretty obvious fit, and I do want them to be... They don't need to kill everyone, because we didn't kill everyone in our game, we just conquered everyone. So I think that is an adequate thing to do. Everything else is staying as they were. So, Macedonic hegemony. Macedon. The Macedon Stellar Empire. That reminds me a bit of the Klingon Star Empire, so I like that. Macedonic. And I think the world will just keep a regular continental world. So, what did their home world? What was their capital? I don't remember. But let's say... Did it start with a P? It was Pella, right? Yeah. We'll keep that. We'll call it... We'll call it Macedon without the G. Why not? Okay. And they are reptilians, so we can't pick mammalian. We gotta go with... Where is reptilian? There it is. Alright.
These alien savages must be taught to kneel when in the presence of their betters.
That's right. That's who they are. Now, I think it's pretty clear that we need a something violent. If there's like a sword or something. Domination. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty clear thing. Now, their colors were sort of red and gold. This was the red we used for Canada, though. So, we'll go with the gold. We could go with yellow, but... And then we're going to go with... Oh, they look putrid together. What am I doing? Okay. That's better. But now we need a clearer... I want like a lot of red with only a little bit of yellow. I feel like we could do that, but like... reverse. Ooh, that's kind of neat. I kind of like that. So I feel like they wouldn't have too much need for ornate business. Alright, we're going to go with that combination. I think that's pretty good. Wait, that wasn't the one that we had originally, was it? There we go. I like that a lot. I think that is quite strong. I wonder if we can make this even stronger here. A stronger red. Alright, let's do... Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. And we will give them the reptilian vessels. This is what they all look like. Alright, the ruler. So, we're going to start with Alexander. Sure, of course we will. Who is a male. And we are going to give him... Ooh. I like that sort of blood-stained look. We need to give him a... It needs to look militant, and these all do, so we have our pick. So we'll go with that. Alright. And what is he? Warmonger. I don't even have to think about that. Just, yeah, he is a warmonger, of course. Official, commander, of course. I mean, what are we even doing if we don't make Alexander a commander? But, yeah. Alright, so we have traits. We have warmonger, ever vigilant, and unwavering aggressor. I think that all those fit him very easily. Oh, under one rule, of course. Oh, we need dictatorial. Okay, so we have to go back here and change to dictatorial. So I don't think anything else changes, but yeah. He's more of a dictator now than a emperor, but I think that should be fine. It might change our, see, Imperator, sure. Imperatrix. Never heard that one before, but sure. And there we go. And now we have the Russians, the Russian Holy State. We have the Cannae Commonwealth. And we have the Macedon Stellar Empire. So, there we go. There are your 3 options. Who would you like to see me play as? Please put your choice in the comments, and if you want, explain your choice. Or just write the name. It doesn't matter. Alright, that's it. See you in the Let's Play.